Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This one's from user ThrowArrayJD24. My girlfriend violated my trust while I was tied up and I'm having trouble getting over it. My girlfriend, 23 female, and I, 24 male, have been together for nearly a year. We sometimes do some kinky stuff, and she once told me she has a thing for smothering her partner. I didn't like the idea, especially because I nearly drowned as a kid, which I told her about. About 2 weeks ago, we were being intimate, and my hands and feet were tied down to the bed. She suddenly pinched my nose shut and pushed her hand over my mouth. I struggled as hard as I could and I made noise, but of course I couldn't speak. I managed to get a few breaths, but once she was tightly locked on, I couldn't breathe at all. It felt like a little over a minute when she finally let go for a few seconds. I gasped for air and screamed out the safe word and said stop and kept saying no. She caught me off guard because I expected her to stop, but she just ignored me and did it again. It's very emotionally draining trying to recall this, to be honest, and I know it might seem stupid to some who would enjoy this, but in the moment, it was really terrifying. Anyway, the second time seemed longer, and when she let go, I actually tried to bite her hand when she put it near me. Then she started pushing down on my throat and pinched my nose shut again. She let go when she was finished, and I was literally in tears. I begged her to please stop and let me go. She started apologizing and said she just got carried away and she's really sorry. I didn't care, I just wanted to be untied, but she didn't even do it right away. She kept saying, "Don't be mad at me, okay?" Like she didn't want to untie me until she knew I wouldn't get angry. When she released me, I went into another room, and later on I went out for a little while to clear my head. She apologized even more since then, and I forgave her, but I can't get over her apology seeming insincere. When I was begging her to stop and struggling for air, she was just laughing. And then as soon as she climaxed, she was suddenly so sorry. We haven't been intimate since this incident and things feel strained. I know the strain is all on my end because I'm the one that's upset about this. If I could just get over it, we could go back to normal, but I just don't trust her the same way I used to. This was really stressful and embarrassing to write, but I feel desperate to ask for advice. Do you think these feelings will go away? I'd like to stay with her, but how can I get over this? Thanks. Wow, OP, what you went through was abuse, and it's the type of abuse that people go to jail for. If the roles were reversed, we'd probably see a picture of you on social media saying that you abused your girlfriend or something like that, because that's what she did to you. She absolutely disregarded what you wanted, and she kept doing it until she climaxed, until she was satisfied, and then she was sorry. But still, she didn't untie you right away like you requested. No, she blackmailed you into saying that you wouldn't be angry. OP, you were in tears. You were struggling for air and she was laughing? That's not right. That is not right. I don't understand why you forgave her. This isn't on you, this is on her. There is no coming back from this. To me, this is a 100% right away immediate deal breaker, and of course I would go to the authorities. But that's enough out of me. So how about we move on to the community comments to see what kind of advice they gave OP. Nematode62 says, "Yeah, I could never be intimate with that woman again. Full on deal breaker. She completely ignored your safe word so she could get off. And she made you feel unsafe and very scared 3 times in a row. And then didn't untie you right away when you were crying? F no, I'd be done. I don't think you should push these feelings aside. What she did is a very big deal. BDSM is all about consent, and she just demonstrated that she doesn't care about your consent if she gets off." SRH5 says, "First of all, I'm glad you're alive. This gave me so much anxiety to even read. I can't imagine how scary that must have actually been. As you already know, this is a huge red flag. Bigger than a red flag even. Everyone always says this on this subreddit, but run. You need to get out now before this gets worse." OP responds, "Thanks. I felt like I may have been acting too dramatic at first and I wondered if I was overreacting. So I appreciate people putting it into perspective for me. I've been thinking about ending the relationship, but I really loved her, so it's hard to make the decision without trying to fix things first. I just wish this never happened. Shy and Happy says, "Bro, this don't sound right at all. It sounds like she freaking tried to kill you. The purpose of a safe word is to use it when you are uncomfortable. Yet she physically made you 1. Not be able to breathe, 2. Not be able to even say the word, and 3. She laughed? She doesn't sound right at all." OP, really, I don't think this is something that you can fix. You know who also wishes that something like this would have never happened? Every other abuse victim out there. It is not your fault. This is not on you to fix. You might love her, or you might have loved her, but it doesn't sound like she loved you, because you do not do this to somebody you love. You don't terrify them on purpose. Anyways, there I go rambling again, so let's move on with the update to see what ended up happening. Hey everyone! First, I just wanted to say thanks for all the responses in the last thread. I haven't felt comfortable talking to anyone in person about this yet, so it really meant a lot. It made me feel a lot better just to know that other people understood why I was feeling the way I do, and to know I wasn't being overdramatic. It was kind of amazing because like an hour after posting the original thread, I went to take a nap, and when I woke up, the thread had already reached its limits and been locked. And of course, I couldn't respond, but I did read probably all of the responses, so I just wanted to say thanks. Anyway, I'm not living with my girlfriend at the moment. I decided I needed some time away, which I was already thinking about even before making the first post. She was fairly understanding, but she thought I was breaking up with her. I told her no, I just had to be alone for a while, and she obviously knew why. I'm still having trouble processing this whole situation. Of course, I'm extremely upset that this happened, and I can't understand how she could do what she did. But part of me still feels like giving her another chance, and I'm having trouble talking myself out of it. The thing is, even if I definitely wanted to do that, I just don't know how things could ever be the same again. I couldn't trust her the same way again because I don't think I'll ever get over the terror of that moment. Anyway, at some point she'll probably get tired of me acting this way and will break it off herself. I wish this never happened so much. So I'm hoping that being alone for a while will help me feel better, and maybe it'll help me feel more confident about ending it. Well, anyway, I'm rambling, so I'll leave it at that, but that's what's going on right now. Oh, OP, I feel sorry that you went through this, and at the same time, I completely disagree with all of the decisions that you're making. You want to give her another chance, but at the same time, you don't know if you're gonna get over the terror that she made you feel. Those two things are absolutely contradicting in terms, but I feel like I'm already repeating myself at this point. You all already know what I think and what I feel about the situation, so instead of going now into another post, I'm going to read the community comments for the updates to see if they kinda like try to talk some sense into OP right now. Small Sacrifice says, "I'm glad you're apart at the moment. What you need to remember is that she turned the fact that you almost died as a child into a sexual kink for herself, at the expense of triggering your trauma and making you think you were about to die. She ignored your safe word, which means she abused you. I'm so sorry. She enjoyed making you fear for your life using a childhood trauma for her sexual pleasure. There is something seriously dark and disgusting inside her. You are not safe with her, emotionally or physically." I Like Arpeggios says, quote, "But part of me still feels like giving her another chance, and I'm having trouble talking myself out of it." End quote. OP, for your own safety, please talk to a counselor or therapist before you seriously consider getting back together with her. You were having sex. She did an action that caused you great discomfort. You said the safe word, retracting consent from the sexual activity. She ignored your retraction of consent and continued the sexual activity. That is abuse. It is clear that she doesn't have any concern for your autonomy and will violate it for her own sexual gratification. Please, for your safety, seek professional help. The Last Basilope says, "You should get some counseling. What she did was a huge betrayal of trust, made you fear for your safety, and made you fear her as a person. That's traumatic, and seeing someone to help you work through those feelings would be hugely helpful. And it's often a lot easier to open up to a stranger than to people you know." In all honesty, you should have called the police when she did that. Once she violated your previously agreed to limits and then ignored your safe word, she crossed the line from consensual sex to sexual assault and battery. At the very least, you need to tell her it's over and tell her she needs to stay out of the kink world because she's unsafe. Anyone who loses control like that should never be allowed to restrain anyone ever again. If she goes to clubs or BDSM community events or anything, you might even want to consider reaching out to warn them what she's done and that she shouldn't be trusted. OP responds, I was thinking about a counselor too. It's just hard to imagine talking to someone about this in person. I'm embarrassed even to do it here and it's anonymous. I don't know why I feel that way, but I think talking to a therapist might help me work through different feelings at least. So I probably will do that. Thanks. And that's it, that's all we know from OP. So you already know what I think and feel about this situation. What about you guys? Let me know in the comment section. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.